I've told you.
There you go, T. The heels.
Watch out. Point your toes out. Put on knees out.
Knees out. Put thumbs out.
There you go. There you go. Good.
That's good.
Well, hi, buddy. There you go.
Good. No, out.
Good.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice job.
Missing something?
But I don't need a belt for that. What are you gonna do, Rich?
Big rip now.
Come on, Jim. Alright, yep, good. Nice to see you.
Get hard.
That's one out.
There you go.
Second one's like they just start deep. Up, somebody. Anybody? Come on, let's go.
Go deep, big three.
Yep. Easy.
Speed up, Bob. Come on.
Come on, drive. Chest up.
Last one.
One more. Come on. Good. Get up. Chest up. Chest. Drive. Good. Up. Up.
Alright. 5 up.
Come on. Chest up. Shoulders. Chest up.
One.
Come on, Matt.
Oh, no.
Shoulders hard. Hard, hard,
Come on.
hard.
Come on, Matt.
195, alright.
Get him, Doc.
Yeah.
What? 260 she had last time.
So today you saw a video of my son Tucker. He's almost 13 years old and he's starting to get into powerlifting. So one of the things we're working on with him is just the basics of the squat. I want him to have really good form before he starts really attempting a lot of weight, but even at 13 I really don't want to see him maxing out. I just want him to see him working on 8 to 10 because I think it's important for him to really build up that strength. So it sort of gave me an idea of just doing a really quick squat video on just some very basic things that I know about squats. So for the first thing is I like to wear the elbow sleeves, I like the SBDs, mostly because when I get under the squat bar it puts a lot of pressure on my elbows. Obviously you can't wear these in competition, but if I wear them during practice, my elbows really don't bother me, otherwise they get kind of sore and achy. The other thing I like to do is to wear wrist wraps, again, because I tuck my arms in tight. It puts a lot of pressure on the wrist. So a lot of times it's good to wear wrist straps. It's funny how many people put wrist straps on incorrectly. I don't like the thumb loops. I feel like they get in the way, so I cut them off. But when I put them on, I kind of pinch it with my hand. A lot of people wrap just around the wrist here. And you're not really doing anything for the wrist if you're wrapping under it. You need to kind of wrap in between your hand and your wrist. The idea being that you want to be able to give yourself some support as you put it back. If you wrap your wrist too far low, you haven't really done anything to support your wrist. So that's one thing that I've noticed from a couple of people is they wrap their wrist too low. So you want to kind of wrap it halfway to give that wrist some support. So as long as I wear my elbow wraps and my wrist wraps, my elbows and my wrists don't get sore. So there's two kinds of ways to place your bar. Some people are high bar squatters and some people are low bar squatters. I myself am a low bar squatter, and I honestly don't know that one is really better than the other. I think it basically works for you, which one you're stronger at. I'm not very strong high bar, I'm strong low bar, so I stick with the low bar. High bar means when you get into the bar, it's just below your neck. So I like to put my hands just outside the knurling in, so tight. And if you just kind of get it up high on your neck, you've got a high bar squat. And you really have to keep your chest very upright for that high bar squat. I have kind of a strong posterior, so I like the low bar squat. So what I do is I get my hands in as tight as it'll allow them. I have to really drive myself under the bar. As I'm driving myself under the bar, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together to create a shelf. And you'll find a nice little shelf to rest your bar. So again, my hands go in the same place. Some people can get them a little tighter than others. It really doesn't matter. I like them here. I bend under, squeeze my shoulder blades, keep it down in my little shelf. For me, it just feels way more natural there for me. Another thing about squatting is how you walk out the bar. Really, you should be fairly close to the rocks, and it should be a 2 to 3 step walk back. Otherwise, you're really wasting a lot of energy taking big steps back, and when you get to bigger weight, the weight will start to swing. So you really want to stay fairly close to the squat rack. Some people like to do a split walkout, so where your feet are split apart, like this, and then back. I myself, I like to do 2 feet together. I just feel stronger that way. So you want to do 2 feet together, squeeze my shoulder blades, 2 feet, back, and back, and I'm in my spot. Okay, so 2 to 3 steps, and that's it, okay? Once you walk the bar back, you want to create a lot of pressure down here. So I always take a big breath before I walk out the bar, so I'm nice and tight and sturdy. And then sometimes I hold it and then do the rep from there. Or if I'm doing a lot of steps, I'll stop and take another breath at the top, okay? One of the things that you heard us tell Tucker is knees out. A lot of times, especially with newer lifters, they'll find that on the way up you do this. A lot of times the reason why your knees go in is because what you're called quad dominant. So that means your quads are much stronger than your hamstrings. The squat is a lot of hamstring and glute. So quads are kind of something we use a little bit more in daily life. So a lot of times when you first get started, especially on Tucker, because he's a young kid, he hasn't developed his hamstrings very well. So really concentrate on telling him knees out when he's squatting out of the. Really work on not letting your knees go in. When you're coming out of the hole here, you really want to focus on pushing your knees out. And when you're pushing your knees out, kind of naturally, your weight goes on the outside of your foot and your heel. And that's one of the things I concentrate on is when I'm coming out of the hole, I'm really pushing towards the outside of my foot, okay? So that's why you'll hear us, when you come out of the hole, you'll hear us say knees out, and that's to remind you to push your knees out by going on the outside of your foot. So just to recap, you want a good tight hold on the bar, big breath, 2 to 3 steps on the way out. You want a good amount of speed down to get out of that hole, and then you want knees out. So again, it should be the same way every single time you do it. So I get under the bar, short steps, okay? Should have a huge breath. And right here is where you want to do knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out. Sort of over-exaggerate that a little bit, but you get the idea. Angle to see that. The other thing you saw us say is chest up, okay? Chest up means right when you've gone down, you're about to the halfway up to the up position, you want to keep your chest up, or sometimes we say shoulders back, to keep the bar from going over your head. When you're really getting tired, it's easy when you get down here to kind of go like this. And that's the last thing you want to do, because now you've shoved everything on your toes when everything should be back. So we say chest up or shoulders. I think we yelled shoulders. Shoulders means when you've got the bar underneath here, you really want to be trying to do this with your shoulders. You want to try to be rolling your shoulders around the bar. And what you're doing by rolling the, your chest around the bar is you're changing your center of gravity, and it's allowing you to get that weight by rolling your chest over the bar, okay? So if we look at another quick example. Now right here, I'm really trying to keep my shoulders up. So I'm like right here, from here, I'm trying to get my shoulders up or my chest around the bar. Especially on those very difficult flips. It's a good way if you get stuck from here, if you just think about rolling around the bar, you'll pop out of that sticking point. Hopefully that was helpful today. I also want to give a shout out to my North Carolina lifter, David Thornton. He wanted me to make a video and thank all our veterans serving our country. He's a veteran, and we certainly appreciate it as we enjoy our freedom over here in the U.S., all those men and women that are fighting for our country. It's priceless what they're doing for us, and it is appreciated. Make sure you hug a veteran today.